Right now, as you are watching this video, millions of insects are quietly destroying American farms, vineyards, orchards, and backyard gardens across more than 17 states. This insect does not care if you have 1 acre or 1,000 acres. It does not care if you have been farming for 40 years or just started last spring. It will show up, it will feed on your trees, and if you do nothing, it will cost you everything you worked for this season. The insect is called the spotted lanternfly. And the scary part? Most farmers are spending hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on chemical sprays that do not solve the problem long term. But here is what the chemical companies do not want you to know. There is a solution sitting in your kitchen right now. It costs about $1. You can mix it in 5 minutes and it kills spotted lanternfly on contact. Stay with me until the end of this video because I am going to give you the exact formula, the exact timing, and the exact method that works on real farms, from small backyard gardens all the way up to commercial vineyards. Let's start with what you are really dealing with. The spotted lanternfly is not just another garden pest. It first arrived in the United States in 2014 in Berks County, Pennsylvania. Nobody was ready for it. Nobody had a plan. And in just 10 years, it is spread to more than 17 states, including Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Ohio, Indiana, and more states are reporting new sightings every single season. Now, which crops are we talking about? Because this matters for your wallet directly. The spotted lanternfly is what experts call a generalist feeder. That means it does not specialize in one plant. It attacks everything. It destroys grapevines, and the wine and grape industry alone estimates losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars per year. It attacks apple trees, peach trees, cherry trees, plum trees, and hops. It feeds on hardwood trees like oak and maple. It even attacks vegetable gardens. If you grow grapes, you are at high risk right now. If you grow stone fruits like peaches or cherries, you are at high risk. If you have fruit trees of any kind, you need to watch until the end of this video. Here is the number that will shock you. A single vineyard, just one vineyard, can lose between $30,000 and $50,000 in a single year from a severe spotted lanternfly infestation. Orchards report similar losses when the population is not controlled early. Think about that. One season, one insect, $50,000 gone. And here is something that makes many farmers even angrier when they find out. Federal crop insurance in most cases does not cover invasive species damage the way it covers weather events like drought or frost. That means if the spotted lanternfly destroys your vineyard or orchard this year, you may be left holding the bill completely alone. No government check, no reimbursement, just you and the losses. That is exactly why what I am about to share with you is so important. You cannot afford to wait. You cannot afford to depend on a system that was not built to protect small and mid-sized farmers from this specific threat. You need to take action yourself this weekend with what you already have.
So what is this cheap, organic $1 solution? It is plain white vinegar. That is it. The same bottle sitting next to your stove right now, white distilled vinegar, the kind that costs about $1 per bottle at any grocery store, any dollar store, or any farm supply shop in America. Now, before you say that sounds too simple, let me explain exactly why it works, because understanding the science makes you a better farmer. The spotted lanternfly feeds by piercing through the surface of plants and sucking out the sap inside. It is essentially a sap vampire. While it is feeding, it also secretes a sticky liquid called honeydew. That honeydew coats your plants, your leaves, your fruits, and it grows a black mold called sooty mold that blocks sunlight to the leaves. That is a double attack on your crops. The insect drains the plant and the mold suffocates it. Now, vinegar works because it is highly acidic. When you spray it directly on a spotted lanternfly, the acetic acid in the vinegar penetrates the insect's exoskeleton. That is the hard outer shell that protects its body. It breaks down that protective layer almost immediately. The insect cannot breathe, it cannot regulate moisture inside its body, and it dies within seconds of contact. But here's something important that makes this remedy even more powerful than most people realize. The spotted lanternfly cannot build resistance to vinegar. Here's why that matters so much. When you use chemical pesticides season after season, insects can evolve over generations to become resistant to those chemicals. Scientists have documented this across dozens of pest species worldwide. That is one reason chemical sprays seem to work less and less over time. But vinegar does not attack the spotted lanternfly's nervous system. It does not target a specific protein or enzyme that the insect can evolve around. It works through physical and chemical destruction of the outer body itself. There is no genetic adaptation possible for that. The insect cannot grow a new kind of shell that survives acid. That is why this method stays effective season after season. And because vinegar is a natural, food-safe substance, it does not destroy your soil biology. The good microbes in your soil, the ones that feed your plants and keep your land healthy long-term, are not harmed by light vinegar application. This is something chemical pesticides cannot say. Many synthetic pesticides kill the beneficial soil bacteria and fungi that your crops need to thrive. With vinegar, you kill the pest, you protect the soil. That is a real win.
Now let me give you the exact formula. Write this down. This is what you will mix this weekend. Basic kill spray for adults and nymphs. 1 cup of plain white distilled vinegar, 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of dish soap. Any brand works, Dawn works great. Pour that into a standard spray bottle. Shake it gently to mix. That is your weapon. The dish soap in this formula is important. On its own, vinegar kills on contact, but it runs off smooth surfaces quickly. The dish soap acts as a sticker. It makes the spray cling to the insect's body and to the surface of leaves and bark long enough to do its job. It also breaks the surface tension of water, which means it can penetrate into tight spaces where nymphs like to hide. Stronger formula for heavy infestations. Use undiluted white vinegar straight in a spray bottle. Add 2 tablespoons of dish soap. Spray directly on any insect you see. This stronger version is what you use when you are seeing large numbers of spotted lanternflies on a specific tree or area. Egg mass treatment. Scrape egg masses off tree bark with a credit card or flat tool. Drop them directly into a Ziploc bag filled with white vinegar. Seal the bag and dispose of it in the trash. This step is critical, and most farmers miss it. Spotted lanternflies lay their eggs in flat, grey masses that look like dried mud. You will find them on tree trunks, fence posts, outdoor furniture, stone walls, even car bumpers if the car was parked near infested trees. Each egg mass contains 30 to 50 eggs. If you do not destroy the eggs, you are just fighting the adults and nymphs while new generations hatch right behind them. Now, timing is everything with this insect, and here is what most people get wrong. The spotted lanternfly has 4 nymph stages before it becomes a winged adult. The first 3 stages, called early instar nymphs, are small, black, and spotted. The 4th stage nymph turns bright red with black and white spots. When you see that red nymph, you have a very short window of time, because once the nymph molts into a flying adult, usually by late July or August, it becomes far harder to control. Flying adults scatter across your entire property and into neighboring properties. They are mobile, fast, and they spread the infestation exponentially. So your target window is May through early July. That is when you want to be spraying, trapping, and scraping eggs. Every day you delay during that window costs you in the fall. application locations matter just as much as timing. Focus first on what experts call hotspot trees. The #1 host plant for the spotted lanternfly is called the tree of heaven. It's a fast-growing invasive tree that looks like a walnut tree with smooth grey bark. Wherever you see tree of heaven on your property or along your fence lines, that is where the spotted lanternfly will gather in the highest numbers. Spray your vinegar formula on all tree of heaven trunks and branches within your perimeter barrier. Do this twice per week during peak season. This creates what I call a death barrier along your property line, a treated zone that kills insects before they ever reach your high-value crops.
Now, let me teach you how to scout. Because if you cannot find them, you cannot fight them. The first sign to look for is egg masses. They appear from October through May. They look like a patch of dried grey mud or old chewing gum on a tree trunk. They are about 1 inch long, they are flat, they are easy to miss if you are not looking. Walk your property perimeter every 2 weeks from October onward and scrape every single mass you find into vinegar. The second sign is honeydew. When spotted lanternflies feed in large numbers, they excrete so much sticky honeydew that it drips onto the ground and surfaces below. If you walk under a tree and your shoes stick slightly to the ground, or you see a shiny wet coating on leaves, that is honeydew. It is a direct warning sign that there is a significant infestation above you. The third sign, and this one most beginners miss, is black sooty mold. That sticky honeydew, when it sits on leaves and surfaces, grows into a black, dusty mold. If your plant's leaves look like someone dusted them with black powder, that is sooty mold, and it means the spotted lanternfly has been feeding there long enough to already be causing serious damage. The fourth sign is wilting and weeping bark. Trees that are heavily fed upon will start to weep a brownish ooze from the bark. You will also see cracked and weeping wounds on the wood. At this stage, the tree is already significantly stressed. You need to act immediately. If you are seeing any of these 4 signs right now on your property, egg masses, honeydew drip, black mold on leaves, or weeping bark, your farm already has an active infestation, and the formula I just gave you needs to be applied today.
Now let me show you how the smartest commercial growers think about this problem, because they do not just spray and hape. They build a system with 3 layers of defense. Layer 1, the perimeter kill zone. This is your fence line, tree line, and any tree of heaven on your borders. You spray vinegar formula here twice weekly from May through September. This is your first line of defense. You stop the insects from ever reaching your crops. Layer 2, the trap layer. Between your perimeter and your crops, you set up circle traps on trees. A circle trap is a simple funnel made from plastic netting wrapped around a trunk. As nymphs climb up the tree, they crawl into the funnel and fall into a collection bag. You empty the bag into vinegar every few days. These traps cost almost nothing to make from materials you likely already own, and they work 24 hours a day without you lifting a finger. Layer 3, the attraction decoy. This one is brilliant in its simplicity. Plant milkweed, the common wildflower, near the edges of your property away from your crops. Spotted lanternflies are attracted to milkweed, but milkweed sap is toxic to them. They feed on it, get poisoned, and move slowly, making them easy to crush or spray. You are basically setting a natural trap that lures them away from your valuable crops and kills them at the same time. This 3-layer system, the kill zone, the traps, and the decoy plants, is the complete organic protocol that costs almost nothing compared to buying commercial chemical sprays every single season.
Now, I want to talk about something that every farmer deserves to hear, because understanding this will help you see why the $1 solution never gets advertised on TV, and why you've never seen it featured in the big farm supply catalogs.
The commercial pesticide industry in the United States generates over $16 billion per year in sales. $16 billion. And a significant portion of that money comes from exactly the kind of panic that invasive species like the spotted lanternfly create. A new pest arrives, farmers are scared, they need something fast, and the chemical companies are right there with a patented spray that costs $80 or $120 per bottle, and that you need to buy again every single season. That is not a solution. That is a subscription. You pay this year, you pay next year, you pay the year after. The pest develops partial resistance, the company releases a new formula. You pay again at a higher price. Meanwhile, independent researchers and university extension programs have published study after study confirming that vinegar-based sprays, neem oil applications, and physical trapping are genuinely effective at managing spotted lanternfly populations when applied correctly and consistently. Penn State University Extension, one of the leading agricultural research institutions in the country, has conducted extensive field research on spotted lanternfly management. Cornell University, Rutgers, and Virginia Tech have all published publicly available guides on low-cost, low-chemical management strategies. This information exists. It is real. It is proven. It is just not in the best interest of a billion-dollar chemical industry to put it on a billboard. But now you know it, and knowledge like this is worth more than any bottle of spray they could ever sell you.
Let me bring this all together for you right now. The spotted lanternfly is real. The damage is real. 17 states and growing, billions in crop losses every year, and farmers, small family farms, vineyards, orchards, paying the price alone. But the solution is also real. It is in your kitchen. It costs $1 and it works. White vinegar mixed with a tablespoon of dish soap and water kills spotted lanternfly on contact. It destroys their exoskeleton. They cannot build resistance to it. It does not harm your soil. It does not poison your family, your pets, your groundwater, or your beneficial insects when used correctly. You now know the exact recipe. You know where to spray, the tree of heaven perimeter, the egg masses, the high traffic hotspots. You know when to spray, starting in May, targeting nymphs before they grow wings in late July. You know how to build a 3-layer defense system that works all season with almost zero cost. And you know why the cheap solution never gets advertised, and why that is going to change one farmer at a time. Here is your action plan for this weekend. Number 1, walk your property and look for egg masses. Scrape every single one into a bag of vinegar. Number 2, identify any tree of heaven on your property line and spray it now. Number 3, mix your formula and keep a spray bottle with you every time you walk your fields from now until September. Number 4, share this video with one farmer you know, because every farmer who watches this is one more farm that does not lose $30,000 this season to an insect that a $1 bottle could have stopped. This is your farm. This is your livelihood. This is your family. Protect it with what works. Thank you for watching until the very end. Now go mix that spray and take back your land.